Looks at the first pitch for a strike. Runners on the base paths take their lead. Cologne at second will make Trey Dees think about it. And now here's the 0-1 swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Dees. So Cologne is on second, reached on an error. Base hit by Cowley, who's at first. And now Irby looking to advance the runners. His first plate appearance. Fouls off the 0-1. Excuse me, 0-2. And Dees looking to get his first strikeout. The 0-2's a liner into right, and being waved around is Cologne from second, and it'll be a play at the plate, and sliding in safe is Austin Cologne, and give the RBI to Irby as he reaches on the single, and he also advances Cowley to second, and an unearned run there for Dees as Cologne would have been out had it not been for an error, and now that brings up designated hitter Tyler Post.
Now up for the Bulldogs, number 44, designated hitter Tyler Post.
A check swing pulled back as Post watches the pitch go into the dirt from Dees, and Post takes a step out of the left-hand batter box before he steps back in. A wide stance. He has a foot on each chalk line at the top and bottom. Cowley takes his lead from second, Irby from first. Here's the pitch to Post. That one gets away from the catcher there, Baranowski, and will advance the runners as Cowley gets to third, Irby gets to second. Post still at the plate with the 2-0 count. One out here in the top of the first where one run has already come across the Bulldogs from Austin Cologne. The 2-0 pitch misses outside, and Dees trying to avoid the walk here that would load the bases to the designated hitter Post, but takes a sigh, and I imagine near Post will swing if he likes it. He didn't like it, and he had a good eye, and that pitch just misses inside. It's a 4-pitch walk. Post takes his free 90 feet. Irby's sitting at second, Cowley's sitting at third, and Joe Jimenez comes up to the plate. Jimenez is the 6th hitter in the order and the shortstop. Could do some real damage here. Dees still working out of the windup despite runners on the bases, and this is a hard one to catch that gets to third, and I don't know if I'd rule that an error as Montgomery has to go off his chest and had to crash from the hot corner, but one run comes in to score, and it will officially be ruled an error on Montgomery, and that brings in the second run as Cowley comes in from third, and Irby advances to third base as Post gets to second, and Jimenez reaches on the error. Randy Huerta comes up to the plate, the third baseman for the Bulldogs. This one gets away again from Barnowitz, and a run will come in from third from Irby. And an early 3-0 lead here for the Bulldogs in the first. The count, I believe, is 2 balls, no strikes here. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Post at third and Jimenez at second, and a check swing pulled back as Huerta thought about going at the D's pitch as it just missed downstairs. He was trying to get that low outside corner and missed. The 3-0. Allen high and tight, and another walk here. The second of the inning for Trey Dees. Huerta gets on at first. Jimenez stays at second and Post at third as we bring up
for the Bulldogs, the center fielder, number 7,
Colin Motzinger. Motzinger, the center fielder. We'll have to wait for this meeting on the mound, and we'll take the break with him. TLU with an early 3-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Meeting on the mound is over here as Colin Motzinger comes to the plate with the bases loaded. 1 out, top of the first. 3 runs already come across the plate for the Bulldogs. Pirates trying to get out of a sticky situation. A swing and a miss on a nice pitch from Trey Dees. Count 0-1 now to Motzinger, the 8th hitter in the order, and the center fielder for the Bulldogs. Holden Philippus, the 9th hitter in the order, on deck. That pitch just above the elbows. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the third here as Motzinger now faces Dees out of the stretch. A grounder to Montgomery, and he goes and attempts for the double play, at least to get one of the lead runners on as Post comes in to score from third. Jimenez makes his way to third. Huerta is out on the fielder's choice, and Motzinger reaches on the fielder's choice, gets to first.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the catcher, number 16, Holden Philippus.
Holden Philippus, the 9th hitter in the order, comes up with 2 outs, 2 on. Runners on the corners for the Bulldogs. A quick pickoff attempt by Trey Dees. And sliding in safely head first, Motzinger. He takes his lead with a foot past the cut. Dees will try it again. The pickoff a little closer this time, and in this particular case, Preston Witt just unable to apply the tag quick enough. First pitch to Philippus is inside, and it's ball 1. One-0 is a jammed pitch inside. That'll go into foul territory, and shading over to make the catch for Southwestern to end the inning is Montgomery, and Daniel Montgomery Jr. makes the squeeze to limit the damage to 4. But 4 runs do come across on 2 hits, 2 errors made by the Pirates, and 2 runners left on as we head into the bottom of the first. The Pirates coming up to the plate. We'll be back in a moment on SHN.
Left fielder, number 56, Lance Crucy, and right fielder, number 52, Maxwell Mims. Now batting for the Pirates, center fielder number 27, Hayden Craig.
And Craig will lead things off here for the Pirates, the center fielder for Southwestern. Steps in as a 4-run top of the 4th inning by the Bulldogs. Means that the Pirates have their work cut out for them. The first pitch from Brendan Beard misses inside for ball 1. Beard, the sophomore pitcher, has appeared in 2 games. This is his 2nd start. And a base hit for Craig as he sends that one into left field.
Now batting for the Pirates, the left fielder, number 56, Lance Crucy.
Lance Crucy will come up with a runner on, nobody out. Crucy, the left-handed batter, going up against the righty Beard. Quick throw over to first. Getting back, standing up is Craig. Maxwell Mims waiting on deck. Crucy waiting for his first pitch from Beard, who's working out of the stretch. Here comes. It's inside, ball 1. Sliding in safe yet again is Hayden Craig. Craig didn't play in the first game of the doubleheader. And Beard really wants to keep him close to that bag as he's thrown over 3 times and he's only thrown 1 pitch to Crucy. Beard just finds the lower half of the strike zone and evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch just outside. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Crucy. Another throw over to first, and Craig dives in safe. By my count, that's the 4th pickoff attempt there by Beard. Doesn't want to give up anything on this 4-0 lead that he's already has behind him coming into his first inning of work. And he was right to throw all those pitches over, or throw all those pickoff attempts to first, as finally Craig takes off and gets a stolen base, advances to second. that pitch missed outside, and it's 3-1 now the count to Crucy. And just a quick conversation, I suppose, as Beard wanted to have a little chat with Holden Philippus. Oh, 2-2 the count actually here, as it's updated by the home plate umpire, and swinging out a low pitch is Crucy. He sends it into right center field, and a tag up and a play at third. The tag will not be applied with the ball, and making his way to third base is Hayden Craig as Crucy flies out to center.
Now batting for the Pirates, the right fielder, number 52, Maxwell Mims.
Maxwell Mims now comes up to the plate. Mims could score potentially on a sacrifice if he were to get enough air underneath it and distance as well, as Craig stands at third base. And let's see if this is enough for him to tag up. If it stays in fair territory, it does fall foul, as a few Bulldogs were making chase. Nobody was able to catch up to it. So Mims will head back, continue his at-bat. An 0-1 count after fouling off the first pitch from Beard. Beard sends in the 0-1, a nice pitch, good movement to make a swing and a miss there from Mims, and he's down 0-2 in the count. The 0-2 pitch. This one chopped to short, and a tough play. Mims will get to first safe. Coming in to score is Craig. And that was a really hard play for Joe Jimenez. Good, give him credit for making the extension to grab the kind of awkward bounce, and couldn't quite get it to first in time. And the Pirates on the board. Craig comes around to score. Mims reaches on a single, brings up Preston Witt, the first baseman and fourth hitter in the order. Another throw over to first from Beard, as he's really been trying to keep these Pirates close to the first base bag on pickoff attempts. Maxwell Mims takes his lead. First pitch to Witt bounces into left field, and Mims advances to second. Witt gets on with another base hit, back-to-back base hits by the Pirates. But runners at first and second with one out.
That brings up the shortstop, number 8, Jacob Tanner.
So now Jacob Tanner, the shortstop, comes up, fifth hitter in the order. Beard wants a few new signs. Philippus finally gives him the one he wants. Mims and Witt take their lead from first and second. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was aiming for that low outside corner by Tanner. Beard the long look at second and then back to the plate, sends in the 0-1, and it catches the outer half of the strike zone for strike number 2 here to Jacob Tanner. The 0-2. Check swing and an appeal down the first base line, and that'll be called strike 3. as Tanner is retired. I think we'll call that a swinging strikeout, although that looked like it could have potentially been called a strike. The catcher really didn't wait for the ump to give his call, but that brings up Ted Lopkowitz. Two outs, runners on first and second. Southwestern trying to cut into this 3-run Bulldog lead. They already brought across Hayden Craig, who reached on a single, got a stolen base. Then on a fly ball from Lance Cruzy, advanced to third, and then was brought in by Mims, who sits at second. Witt at first right now on a single. And then a pitch from Beard gets past Philippus, and the runners will advance. So now Mims is at third if you want to update your sheet, and Witt gets to second. And 2 runners in scoring position here for Ted Lopkowitz. Lopkowitz, the junior outfielder, appearing in his 6th game. Trying to bring his average up. He entered the day at 125. The 1-0 from Beard. That one in the dirt and also gets past Philippus. And coming in to score will be Mims. Advancing to third is Witt. And Lopkowitz, his at bat hasn't resulted in a run coming across yet, but whatever Beard is looking down for his strike zone has been off, as he's had 2 passed balls or wild pitches record, as that goes against either one of Philippus or Beard, as we're not quite, I'm not the official scorer, but 2 pitches help advance the runners, and Southwestern scores their 2nd run in the bottom of the 1st. And the first strike of the at-bat here for Lopkowitz makes the count 2-1. The 2-1 fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Southwestern lost the first game of this doubleheader, 14-3. Lopkowitz, the designated hitter, trying to do his job and bring in Preston Witt from third. And an excuse me swing extended to foul off the 2-2 pitch, and the count remains 2-2. Beard taking his time. Here comes the 2-2. Misses outside, and we have a full count. Witt at third will be moving on the pitch. Payoff pitch to Lopkowitz. Fouled off. And it's been a long at-bat for Brendan Beard, who, as I can tell, does not have a beard, if you're curious. He'll take a sigh out of the stretch. The 3-2. Another pitch fouled off. This one heading towards the bullpen out of play. The Southwestern bullpen. Both teams' primary colors yellow and black. So for those of you that are just joining us, Southwestern wearing the yellow jerseys with white pants, and TLU wearing the black jerseys with gray pants. Here's the 3-2. And that one misses low and outside. Tossing away his bat is Lopkowitz. He earns his walk.
Coming to the plate for the Pirates, the third baseman, number 10, Dan Montgomery.
Third baseman Dan Montgomery comes up to the plate now with runners on the corners, 2 outs. 4-2 lead for TLU, and Brendan Beard having a conversation here with Philippus and the pitching coach for the Bulldogs. It started off as a day in the 70s. It's cooled down a little bit as start to see some sweatshirts put on by some of the coaches. Players have some long sleeves on as there was an opportunity to make a wardrobe change after the first game. A little throw over to first. Lobkowitz is okay as he slid in head first. A curveball finds the lower half of the zone for a strike on the first pitch to Montgomery. Another throw over to first. And sliding in safe, Lobkowitz. Swing and a miss for Montgomery. He's down 0-2. The runner on third, Witt, takes his lead. As does Lobkowitz at first. Beardson's in the 0-2, and it's fouled off onto the safety net. Beardson's in the 0-2. It's fouled straight back by Montgomery. Went after a high fastball. Those are hard to lay off of, but the barrel of his bat is an inch higher. He timed it well enough that it probably could have been a line drive right back at Beard. Beard steps off the rubber real quick, which will send Witt and Montgomery back to their bags, and they proceed to take their leads again here. 0-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runs across for the Pirates here in the bottom of the first. A swing that is a slow roller to third will be a hard play, as unable to do anything with the ball was Randy Huerta, and a run comes across the third of the inning as Witt makes it across home, and Lobkowitz, gets to second, and Montgomery reaches on a single.
Now batting for the Pirates, the catcher, number 26, Ryan Baranowski.
Ryan Baranowski comes up now. The catcher for the Pirates didn't play in the first doubleheader. Opportunity to play here in the second. First pitch to him finds the low inside corner. Strike one. Baranowski doesn't even leave the batter box as he steps back up to the plate. The 0-1 hit high into center field, and should be an easy enough play. Coming up to make the catch is Motzinger, and that'll end the 3-run bottom of the first. So 3 runs scored off 4 hits, no errors made by the defense of the Bulldogs, and 2 men left on for the Pirates as we head into the top of the second. It's 4-3. The Bulldogs lead the Pirates. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
Coming to the plate in the top of the second inning for the Bulldogs, left fielder number 5, Blake Strelswick. Second baseman number 14, Austin Colon, and right fielder number 33, Tyler Colley. Returning to the mound, number 35, Trey Dees for the Pirates.
Trey Dees in for his second inning of work as he sees who he saw to start off the first inning. Blade Sturzelzik comes up to the plate. First pitch to Sturzelzik. Misses downstairs, ball one. Dees out of the windup as there's nobody on the base paths. Sends the 1-0 in the inner half of the strike zone, and it's evened up at a ball and a strike. Dees actually kind of worked, if I'm not mistaken, he worked out of the windup at first with runners on the base paths, and then he moved to the stretch a little bit later in that 4-run top of the first. The 1-1 misses downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike now. As Sturzelzik grounded to short in his first plate appearance. And 2-1 also below the strike zone, and 3 balls and 1 strike now to the left fielder for the Bulldogs. The 3-1 is a called strike, and the count is full here to Sturzelzik. That pitch misses inside. Sturzelzik with a good eye. He earns the walk, and he'll head to first. Brings up Austin Colon.
Bulldogs, the second baseman, number 14, Austin Colon.
Colon reached on an error and came around to score one of the 4 runs in that first inning. Second baseman steps in, left-handed batter. Now out of the stretch, a pitch outside. It was a pitch-out attempt a little bit too far outside, and Sturzelzik took off and got to second. Trey Dees with the right idea as he kind of agreed. You can see that Bernowski and he were on the same page to attempt to get him running. But Sturzelzik got the jump, and Bernowski had to kind of leave his squat a little bit more than he wanted to and reach into the right-handed batter box a little bit too much to get the throw off correctly. And then here's a deep fly ball that's heading just in front of the warning track, and it'll be a tag up for Sturzelzik to get over to third. Colon advances the runner with the fly ball.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the right fielder, number 33, Tyler Colley.
Hayden Craig records the putout as Tyler Colley comes up to the plate. Colley reached on a single and came around to score in the first. So he's 1 for 1 on the day. Now he has an opportunity to drive in a run as Sturzelzik stole second. So, actually, Sturzelzik did not get the proper timing trying to get to second when he tagged up. So, the fly ball from Colon goes to waste, and Sturzelzik, who was at third, is out because of the technicality that he actually didn't leave the base after the fly ball was caught by Craig. And a nice job by Trey Dees and the Pirates to kind of, I guess, see if anybody would notice it's worth a shot to just get there over to second on the throw. And the umps agreed, and it's out number 2. Now a grounder hitting the left field between the gap of third and short as Cowley gets to first on the base hit. He's 2 for 2 on the day, on the ball game. And with 2 outs, he records a single.
The first baseman, number 24, Cole Irby.
Cole Irby comes up to the plate now. Runner on first. 2 outs. Irby singled and scored in the first. Check swing pulled back, but the pitch still finds the strike zone from Dees. And a quick step off of the rubber for Dees as he had to wipe some perspiration off of his face, and he'll get back on. An attempted steal attempt, and a nice job by Dees to realize that that might be a possibility, and caught stealing is Cowley, and that ends the top of the second. So no runs scored off one hit, no errors made by the defense of the Pirates, and no runners left on for the Bulldogs. We head into the bottom of the second, 4-3, one-run lead for TLU.
Coming to the plate for the Pirates in the bottom of the second, second baseman Trent Raschke, and then back to the top for center fielder 27 Hayden Craig and left fielder 56 Lance Crucy.
Is this gonna need more batteries? It's on one bar.
A leadoff single for Trent Raschke, as he was the only batter for the Pirates that did not come to the plate in the bottom of the first.
Number 27 Hayden Craig.
Brings us back to the top of the order. Hayden Craig, he reached on a single and came around to score after stealing a base in his first plate appearance. Center fielder steps in. Throw over to first, diving in safely is Raschke. Beard out of the stretch. Sends in the first pitch here to Craig, and it's a shallow fly ball. That a little miscommunication between right fielder and second baseman. Tough one to catch for either of them, to be honest with you. Drops for a base hit, and back-to-back base hits for the Pirates. Brings up Lance Crucy.
Brings to the plate for the Pirates, left fielder, number 56, Lance Crucy.
So Raschke was at second. Craig at first after back-to-back base hits for the Pirates. Nobody out and 2 on for Lance Crucy. He flew out to center back in the first inning, which helped advance Craig to third. Beard sends in a pitch in the lower half of the strike zone, and that's strike one here to Crucy. Opportunity here for the Pirates to play a little small ball. He could lay a bunt down that third base line to try and get a sacrifice to get both runners in scoring position. And a balk is called here, as that'll advance the runners in the scoring position, so no need for that bunt. As Craig moves over to second, Raschke advances to third, and that will bring up a conversation here at the plate and disagreement. Southwestern will take the call. Back to action here. It's not going to change anything if you argue with the ump. I've found very rarely have I ever seen that. The 0-1 to Crucy is near his ankles. He avoids the pitch, and the count evened up at a ball and a strike as he now has 2 runners in scoring position. Pirates could take their first lead of the day, as they never led in the first game against the Bulldogs. 2 on, nobody out. The 1-1 in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Crucy. Beard steps off for a moment and gets right back on the rubber. The 2-1. Also below the strike zone, and 3 balls, 1 strike here, and Crucy, if he draws the walk, can load the bases. Mims waiting on deck, who brought in a run, the first of the ball game for Southwestern, came around to score himself. Waiting to see what happens here on the 3-1 pitch. That pitch finds the low outside corner of the strike zone. Beard gets the count full. Crucy, the lefty, crowds the plate a little bit. Looks like his toes are on the inside chalk. Here's the payoff pitch. It's it's swung on and sent to center field. Or left field, I beg your pardon, and that'll be enough for Raschel to come across to score and Craig to come in to third from second, and the Pirates have tied it up off of the sacrifice fly from Crucy.
Coming to the plate for the Pirates, the right fielder, number 52, Maxwell Mims.
Maxwell Mims, right fielder. Again, I mentioned he singled and came around to score. Also drove in a run on that single back in the first as he brought in Hayden Craig from third. Swings at a pitch that he was jammed on. It's a slow roller to short, and the throw is in time to record out number 2, but it does bring in a run, so it's not for naught as Hayden Craig comes in from third. And Preston Wick comes up to the plate.
Now batting for the Pirates, the first baseman, number 19, Preston Witt.
Witt singled and came around to score back in the first inning. Pirates ahead 5-4, their first lead of the day here in the second game of the doubleheader versus TLU. Beard tries a curveball that got away from him, got outside for ball 1. The 1-0. Just misses the low outside corner. It's 2 balls, no strikes here to Preston Witt. (2-0) on the way. A check swing that hit the barrel of the bat on the pitch and fouled off for strike 1. (2-1) to Witt here. This one also fouled off, and 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs across the plate here for Southwestern in the bottom of the second. So 2s are wild as Witt would like this second inning to continue. Beard looking to get out of it. 2-2 pitch. Curveball that was kind of popped up in the air. The catcher will come over and make the squeeze for the final out of the second inning. A nice job reading that one from Holden Philippus, and that will end the bottom of the second inning. But 2 runs scored off of 2 hits, no errors made by the defense of the Bulldogs, and a runner left on for the Pirates. We head into the top of the third. It's 5-4. Southwestern has their first lead of this doubleheader versus Texas Lutheran. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
Tyler Post and shortstop, number 9, Joel Jimenez. Now batting for the Bulldogs, first baseman, number 24, Cole Irby.
Trey Dees starts his third inning of work for the Pirates, and he's working with a lead here as the Southwestern Pirates lead at 5-4 over the TLU Bulldogs. Cole Irby will lead things off here in the top of the third. He swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. A good curveball coming from Dees as he really had that one drop and got Irby to chase after it. The windup here for Irby as he sends in the 0-1. It hits over the head of Montgomery into left field, and that'll be a leadoff single for Irby. Irby was 1 for 1 on the day and came around to score on a single, and that brings up the designated hitter, Tyler Post.
Hitter number 44, Tyler Post.
Post walked and came around to score in the first. Comes to the plate now with a runner on, nobody out. Now out of the stretch. D sends in a pitch. It's a grounder that makes its way into right field, and that'll advance Irby to second. Post reaches on the single, back-to-back singles for the Bulldogs, and Joe Jimenez will try and keep this rolling.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the shortstop, number 9, Joe Jimenez.
Jimenez reached on an error and was left on at third back in the first inning. Right-handed batter. He asked for time. It's not granted to him, so Dees will send in the pitch. A bunt laid down, and this will be a hard one as Montgomery bobbles it and loaded bases on the base hit bunt. Yeah, even though you ask for time, it's the home plate umpire's discretion to award time, and now Randy Huerta will come up to the plate with the bases loaded, partly because the time was not granted for him. Huerta was out on a fielder's, reached on a fielder's choice, or excuse me, he walked and was out on a fielder's choice back in the first, and now here comes the pitch from Dees, swing and a miss. So Irby at third, Post at second, Jimenez at first. Randy Huerta looking to get his first RBI of the day. He didn't play in the first game. The 0-1. That one ends up in the dirt. Nice job by Barnowitz to keep that one from getting away from him. Nobody out in the bases loaded here. D's trying to work himself out of the hole. Time was not granted again. We talked about that, and a strike delivered on the 1-1 pitch as Huerta just kind of assumed that he was going to be able to get back into the plate after a time was asked for him, and then he had to kind of adjust, and there was no chance for him to even swing at that pitch. So his count now 1-2, and D's finding some momentum, doesn't waste much time. The 1-2 is popped up in the air, heading into foul territory, and Witt trying to track it down, can't, kind of lost it, I think, at the last moment. And staying alive is Huerta. A ball and 2 strikes here to the third baseman for TLU. The 1-2 on the way. Curveball that is fouled off out of play. Five-4 lead for Southwestern here in the top of the third. Texas Lutheran, though, threatening here to retake the lead, and the pitch is high and inside, ducking out of the way. Huerta, as that one got away a little bit from D's, and the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. D's shakes off a couple signs before finding the one he likes. Here's the 2-2. It takes a bounce, and Montgomery will get the lead runner on the force out at home. So Irby is out on the fielder's choice. Reaching first on the fielder's choice is Huerta. Jimenez advances to second. Post goes to third, and that brings up Colin Motzinger with the bases loaded and 1 out, and the Pirates make the smart play there on the high chop to Montgomery.
Fielder number 7, Colin Motzinger.
First pitch is strike. Motzinger reached on a fielder's choice and was left on at first, back in the first. Shows bunt and really went for it. It was a suicide squeeze attempt. Already coming in from third was Post. He's tagged out. And, man, that's a tough break for Motzinger as that pitch was way upstairs. He wouldn't really have a chance to lay down that squeeze. And that's why they call it the suicide squeeze right there, because already sprinting from third was Post, and the small ball does not work in TLU's favor, and the score remains 5-4, Southwestern on top. That was a ball to make it 1-1. So now runners at the corner, as Jimenez did make it over to third on that squeeze attempt. And a fly ball to center field will be out number 3. So, bases loaded, nobody out, no problem for Trey Dees and the Pirates as they're playing much better here in the second game of the doubleheader. They go into the bottom of the third with a 5-4 lead. No runs on 3 hits, no errors made by the defense, and there were 2 runners left on for the Bulldogs. We head into the bottom of the third. It's 5-4. Southwestern with the lead. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
New pitcher for the Bulldogs, number 41, Anthony Fasciano.
You might have heard the announcement. Anthony Fasciano now the new pitcher after the outing from Brendan Beard. You can close the book on him, and 5 runs scored by the Pirates in those 2 innings of work by Beard. So Fasciano now comes on to the mound.
Now batting for the Pirates, shortstop number 8, Jacob Tanner.
And Tanner will lead things off. Lapkowitz, the designated hitter, due up, as well as Montgomery, and the first pitch in there for a strike. Fasciano works fast, and this time the pitch gets away from him, ends up in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Jacob Tanner. He struck out swinging on that appeal down the baseline, so was called a strike 3 and on a swing, and just took strike 2. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just getting rolling here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Southwestern looking to add on to their first lead of the day. Out of the windup, Fasciano will have the 1-2 fouled off from Tanner. Two on a high fastball. It's a slow roller short, and the throw is in time. Give a lot of credit there to Joe Jimenez as he makes the athletic play to crash on that one, and Cole Irby makes the squeeze just in time, having to play it off of a bounce from Jimenez, and out number 1 there as Tanner didn't get what he wanted out of that, almost got on base. Lapkowitz steps in, 1 out, nobody on. First time facing Fasciano, and Fasciano sends the pitch outside. Ball 1. Lapkowitz reached on a walk, but was left on at second back in the 1st inning. At the plate for his 2nd plate appearance. He looks at strike 1 on the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Fasciano into the motion, and the 1-1 misses downstairs. 2 balls and a strike here for designated hitter for the Pirates here in this 2nd ball game. 2-1. Fastball that finds the low outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lapkowitz. This pitch fouled off on him. Count remains 2-2. Fasciano's 2-2 is sent into left field, and shading over to make the catch in shallow left field, and then having the hurdle his left fielder is the shortstop, Joe Jimenez, as he stole that put out from Matzinger, he stole that from Strzelczyk. And that's out number 2.
Now batting for the Pirates, the 3rd baseman, number 10, Dan Montgomery.
Montgomery comes up to the plate now. 2 outs, nobody on. He reached on a single and was left on at first back in the 1st. Fasciano into the motion, delivers the pitch, and it's inside, ball 1. The 1-0 just misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the 2-0. Swung on, goes to the hot corner. A nice play and a throw across the diamond from Randy Huerta records the final out. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on in the bottom of the 3rd. The Pirates go 1-2-3, and we head into the top of the 4th inning. Pirates lead 5-4.
Pirates 5, Bulldogs 4. Due up in the top of the fourth inning for the Bulldogs, catcher number 16, Holden Philippus. Left fielder number 5, Blade Strelswick. And second baseman number 14, Austin Cologne. New pitcher for the Pirates, number 45, Brian Messner.
Brian Messner is the new pitcher for the Pirates here in the top of the fourth inning. Finishing up his warm-up pitches, as it'll be Ryan Barnowitz who will, excuse me, I beg your pardon, wrong side of my score sheet. Knew that was wrong as soon as I saw it. The other catcher, Hayden Philippus, leading things off. The ninth hitter in the order, 9-1-2 due up, as Blade Strzelczyk comes up to the plate after that. He's waiting on deck, and Austin Cologne also due up here in the top of the fourth. Philippus popped up to third and takes the first strike here in the top of the fourth. He popped up to third back in the first inning to end that first inning, in which all 9 batters came to the plate for TLU. The 0-1 just misses outside. Must have just been off the plate, missing the black. The 1-1 swung on, sent to deep left field, and having to backpedal and not quite getting to the warning track is the left fielder Lance Crucy, and that'll be out number 1 for the Bulldogs here in the top of the fourth.
That'll take us back to the top of the lineup for the Bulldogs for left fielder number 5, Blade Strzelczyk.
Blade Strzelczyk comes up to the plate, and he has a bit of a staggered stance here and looks at the first pitch. It's a strike. Strzelczyk 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Back into the first, he grounded out to short. He walked in the second and was left on at third after stealing a base. Actually, no, Strzelczyk got to second on the stolen base, but he was the one who tagged up but didn't tag up with the right timing. Poor base running on his part, and that ended up being a easy play for Trey Dees, who was the pitcher at the time, to make a throw over to second after the fly out, and the out was recorded for out number 2 of that inning. Strzelczyk fouls off the 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes now here. Messner has the 1-2 fouled off again. The count remains the same here for Strzelczyk. Of course, I hope I'm saying Strzelczyk's name right there. I'd like to buy a vowel in his name. Tell you how it's spelled because I wrote it down phonetically so I wouldn't mess it up by saying it 5 different ways as he fouls off another pitch. Strzelczyk spells his name S-T-R-E. Excuse me, I messed it up already. S-T-R-Z-E-L-C-Z-Y-K. So I guess in that particular case, Y is a vowel maybe, and as it sometimes is, and the 1-2 misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes here for Strzelczyk. The 2-2 is fouled off. Strzelczyk fighting here in his first plate appearance versus Messner. Two-two pitch on the high leg kick, and it was a little too high as Strzelczyk, looked from our angle that it hit him, but he's not taking his free base. Oh, it hit his bat. There you go. I thought it hit his back as it ricocheted off of the back there, and still a foul ball, and we have a full count now. The payoff pitch. That one comes near his head, and that'll be the third ball, so beg your pardon, now it's a full count. The 3-2 ends up in the dirt, and Strzelczyk earns his second walk of the ball game. He has a good eye. And he already has a stolen base, so that makes it a little bit harder for Messner.
The Bulldogs, the second baseman, number 14, Austin Colon.
Brings up Austin Colon. Colon 0 for 1 on the day. He reached on an error and came around to score back in the first, and he flew out to center. And that was the Strzelczyk tag up that he mistimed. And Messner sends that pitch inside for ball 1. Good job for Southwestern's catcher Ryan Barnowiski to catch up to that pitch before it got too far away for Strzelczyk. Take off to second, and then Messner delivers a strike on the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the fourth. 5-4 your score. Southwestern with the lead over Texas Lutheran. Much more competitive ball game than our first game of this doubleheader. The 1-1 sent into shallow left field, and shading over to make the catch for the Pirates is Lance Crucy, and that'll be out number 2. Strzelczyk stays where he is at first, and Tyler Cowley comes up to the plate. Cowley has singled in both of his plate appearances. He came around to score in the first and was left on at first in the second. First time seeing Messner here. Strzelczyk at first with 2 outs and a little throw over to first, as didn't seem like that was too much more of an attempt except to keep Strzelczyk close to the bag, who, again, recorded a stolen base in the second. Messner a little closer that time, as Witt actually had an opportunity to apply a tag and not do it half-heartedly. Out of the stretch, Messner delivers his first pitch to Cawley, and it's outside, ball 1. Cawley right back in, staggered stance with the top foot opening up his hips towards the pitcher Messner. Here's the 1-0, a check swing pulled back just in time for ball 2 to be called. Good eye and good quick hands there by Cawley. 2-0 fouled off, and a hit and run was on there as Terzelzik took off for second. He'll have to head back to first. Sun is setting here in beautiful Georgetown, Texas, which means that it's going to get a little bit colder. I think the low tonight was 40 degrees. We had a nice day in the 70s for the first ball game that started at 2. The 2-1 just misses outside, and 3 balls, 1 strike here from Messner to Colley. Waiting on deck is Cole Irby, hoping to get his chance. Messner doesn't like the first sign, but he agrees with the second. The 3-1. That one hits Colley, and he'll take his free base. Terzelzik advances to second, and Cole Irby will come to the plate with 2 outs and 2 on.
Coming to the plate for the Bulldogs, first baseman, number 24, Cole Irby.
Irby takes his time entering the batter box. Steps in now. His first appearance against Messner. The pitch on the way, and Messner losing control a little bit here as having to duck out of the way was Irby. That could have been back-to-back hit by pitches if Irby wanted to take one for the team and load the bases. Instead, he chose his own self-interest, and I don't blame him. This is a fast pitch by Messner. Swing and a miss on the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Messner to Irby. Irby came around to score on a single in the first, and then he was out on a fielder's choice back in the third, as that was a force out. He tried to get home and couldn't in time, and a good job by Barnowitzki to try and throw it down the baseline to catch Cowley off the bag. Witt was there to make the catch just to make sure it didn't get too far wide, but he wasn't quite ready to get the out there at first. Runners going as the pitch hits this time Irby, so Terzelzik will get to third without needing to register a stolen base. Cowley will go to second, and back-to-back hit by pitches gets Irby on the hit by pitch to first. Tyler Post, the designated hitter, comes up to the plate.
Designated hitter, number 44, Tyler Post, to the plate for the Bulldogs.
Post walked and came around to score in the first. He was out on a force out back in the third. And the first pitch from Messner is outside. Losing his control and seems to be ending up in the right-handed batter box most of the time. Post, a lefty here. With a power stance, will hold up the runners. Terzelzik at third, as a nice job by Barnowitzki to make sure that didn't get too far away from him. And I think Coach Bunch wants to have a meeting on the mound here with Messner and Barnowitzki. We'll take the break here as Southwestern leads TLU 5-4 in the top of the 4th inning. 2 outs, bases loaded when we come back on SHN Sports. Messner stays on the mound. Bases loaded. And Tyler Post, designated hitter, at the plate. A 2-0 count. Messner looking for the strike zone here. Might have to take a little bit of zip to sacrifice for control. And designated hitter Post might not be the best guy to try and regain your control on, as, hey, a strike is right down Broadway, and Messner makes me eat my words. And Post will head right back up to the plate. The 2-1. Fastball in the lower half of the strike zone, and even up the count 2-2 to Post as Messner. He was behind the count 2-0, and just like that, 2 pitches and 2 finding of the strike zone. Post dared him to find it, and he did. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, this one hit into deep right field, and it'll be a play just in front of the warning track. That ball caught by Ted Lapkowitz and ends the threat as the bases were loaded, but nobody came across the score in the top of the 4th inning. So no runs off, no hits, no errors made by the defensive players of the Pirates, and the bases left loaded for the Bulldogs. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's 5-4. The Pirates lead the Bulldogs. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
And center fielder number 27, Hayden Craig.
Pop quiz. Have you ever used a fluid head before?
Fluid head?
Yeah, so if this is off balance, you can just untie this and the white there. Yeah, oh, sorry. I can't actually take it. It's pretty subtle. You have to see it. These little levels here, if it's white, it's level. Blue is close enough. Okay. And if you were to go way wide, you'd see them a little more clearly. It just looked a little crooked, so I just thought I'd come out and check. Okay. Good job, though.
Thank you.
Much better in the second game.
Coming to the plate for the Pirates, the catcher, number 26, Ryan Baranowski.
Baranowski will lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. The Pirates lead at 5-4 over TLU Bulldogs, and Fasciano sends a pitch inside, ball 1 to the Pirates catcher for this ball game. Second pitch finds the strike zone, and count even at a ball and a strike. Baranowski flew out to center in his only plate appearance so far back in the 1st inning. Fouls off the 1-1 here, and he's down to the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Baranowski, Raschkel, and Craig due up here in this bottom of the 4th inning. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Out of the lineup, Fasciano sends in the 1-2, and it's fouled right back by Baranowski. The 1-2. This one takes a bounce to Jimenez and then gets between his legs into left field, and a base hit for Baranowski, and that could have, it looked like it was going to be a liner, and then it just kind of died. Jimenez had to try and adjust, and he couldn't. Gets past him in left field, and Baranowski will take his first base hit of the game. Trent Raschke comes to the plate now. He singled and came around to score in the 2nd, part of the 2-run bottom of the 2nd inning. He looks at the first pitch miss outside from Fasciano. Time asked for and granted here to Raschke. TLU might not be the happiest about that, as they've had a couple times not granted to them. 1-0. Curveball ends up in the dirt. Ball 2. The 2-0. Foul down the third baseline. Baranowski will head back to first as the hit and run was on, and Raschke was a bit ahead of that one. The 2-1 slapped into right field. Baranowski will make it to second, and the single here for Raschke takes us back to the top of the order. Hayden Craig with 2 on and nobody out.
Now coming to the plate for the Pirates, the center fielder, number 27, Hayden Craig.
So Craig singled and came around to score back in the first, and he singled and came around to score in the second. So he's 2 for 2 with a stolen base in there as well. Fasciano out of the stretch with runners on first and second. A bunt laid down the first base line, and the tag will be applied to Craig, but he does his job. Small ball works and gets runners in scoring position as Baranowski makes it to third. Raschke makes it to second. Craig on the sacrifice brings up Crucy.
Now batting for the Pirates, the left fielder, number 56, Lance Crucy.
So Lance Crucy flew out to center in the first, sacrificed and brought in a run in the second, and now the lefty crowds the plate going up against Fasciano for the first time, watches a pitch sail by for ball 1. 5-4 lead for Southwestern here in the bottom of the fourth. The 1-0. This one is a roller on a ground ball to second, and one run will come across from Baranowski as it's an easier play for Cologne to just go ahead and make the easy out at first. And the squeeze made by Irby as Cruzy brings in a run on the at-bat.
Play for the Pirates, the right fielder, number 52, Maxwell Mims.
And Raschke makes it over to third. Brings up Maxwell Mims. Sorry, I'm trying to do administrative work, keeping my score here, and my pen does not want to cooperate, so I don't mean to be a little slow updating you on what's going on with your own scorebooks if you're keeping track at home. Mims brought in a run and singled back in the first, came around to score himself, and then he popped up to the catcher in the second inning. He fouls off a pitch here. Ball and a strike as he steps back in. The 1-0. Fouled off. Excuse me, that was the 1-1 fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Mims back up. Swings at a high curveball, and it's a grounder to Jimenez. Jimenez gets him just in time. Irby makes the squeeze, and the run will not count from Raschke as he came across the plate from third, and that ends the bottom of the fourth. But 1 run scored off 2 hits, no errors made by the defense of the Bulldogs, and a runner left on for the Pirates. We head into the top of the fifth, and we have a shootout here. Southwestern leads TLU 6-4. 10 runs scored through 4 innings. We'll be back in a moment here on SHN Sports.
Third baseman, number 17, Randy Puerta, and center fielder, number 7, Colin Montsinger. Returning to the mound for the Pirates, number 45, Brian Messner. Now batting for the Bulldogs, shortstop number 9, Joe Jimenez.
As twilight falls in here in Georgetown, Texas, Joe Jimenez will go up against Brian Messner and start off this fifth inning. A 2-run lead for the Pirates, 6-4. And Jimenez, the shortstop, who's made some good defensive plays, swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. A nice changeup coming from Messner. .63 degrees now. It's cold for a Texan. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here is Messner working against Jimenez. Curveball misses downstairs, but would have been a good opportunity for Jimenez to chase, but he saw the break on it and did a good job, as that one was just kind of bordering the black around the knees. .2-1 pitch finds the low outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Jimenez, the leadoff hitter here in the fifth. 10-run score between the two teams, a 6-4 lead for Southwestern. Jimenez will slap the 2-2 to the shortstop, and a tough play there. Witt can't make the kind of low grab from Jacob Turner, and an error will be how the fifth inning starts off. Jimenez reaches.
That'll bring the third baseman, number 17, Randy Huerta, to the plate for the Bulldogs.
Randy Huerta comes up to the plate following the error. Bunt pulled back, but the pitch still finds the strike zone. Huerta walked as he swings and misses here on the 0-1. He walked back in the first inning and was out on a fielder's choice as he was making his way to second, and then he reached on a single back in the third. Going up against Messner now, the 0-2 pitch. That one just misses inside. Jimenez takes his lead from first. Messner sends in the 1-2. This one fouled straight back, and count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Randy Huerta steps back in. Out of the stretch, Messner sends in the 1-2. This one bounces back to Messner, and then he ricochets it off of his glove, trying to play it up the middle. On the original trajectory was Jacob Tanner, and then he has to shade back over to make sure it doesn't go into the outfield, and that moves Jimenez over to second, and we'll give a base hit to Huerta there. So Huerta's reached all 3 plate appearances, and now Colin Motzinger comes up to the plate.
Number 7, Colin Motzinger.
Motzinger reached on a fielder's choice in the first, then he flew out to center to end the third inning. Nobody out and 2 on here as he faces Messinger, and he tried to lay down a bunt, fouls it out of play. And it looked like it might have hit his hand as he's trying to shake off his right hand. The TLU dugout getting into it here as they trail by 2. A bunt shown here, and this one gets away from Barnowitzki, and the runners will advance, so the bunt is definitely pulled off here from Motzinger as Jimenez advances to third. He reached on an error. Huerta, who had the single on the hot shot, that went right back to Messner, and he deflected that and made it an easy route to first. He gets to second, and now Motzinger has the bunt sign taken away, I would imagine. And he steps back to the plate with a 1-1 count. Messner sends in the pitch, a swing and a miss. I might have heard a soft glance of the bat there, but either way, that's strike two. Messner checks the runners. The 1-2. Hit foul down to the first base line. I think that ends up out of play. Kind of lost track of it for a moment. Nobody made chase after it, though. Would have been impossible to catch. The 1-2 pitch. This one ends up in dirt, and Barnowitzki takes off his mask to track it down, and nobody will move as Jimenez stays at third and Huerta stays at second. Motzinger, with a very patient at-bat here, has a 2-2 count on him as he's fouled off a few pitches and really made Messner work here with nobody out and runners at second and third. Two-two pitch. This one tight. And the count is full now to Colin Messinger. The 3-2, this one hits Metzinger. Or excuse me, this one, yeah, it does hit Metzinger from Messner. And that loads the bases.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the catcher, number 16, Holden Philippus.
Ninth hitter in the order, Holden Philippus comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He popped up to third in the first inning, and then he flew out to left in the fourth. And he gets his instructions before he heads up to the plate. Nobody out, bases loaded, and an opportunity for TLU to cut into this 2-run lead for Southwestern. They currently lead at 6-4. On a jam pitch, he fouls it off. Philippus swings at the first pitch he sees, and he's eager to bring in a run, you can tell. Messner trying to get out of a sticky situation. Messner got out of the fourth inning unscathed as he had to deal with the bases loaded. Here's the top of the order coming up no matter what after this at-bat as the 0-1 fouled off. Philippus with his staggered stance comes back to the plate here. The 0-2 pitch from Messner. Another foul off. TLU dugout hoping for a rally. You can hear them with the crowd mic. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Philippus is retired. The first strikeout for Messner. And that takes us back to the top of the order.
Back to the top of the order for left fielder number 5, Blake Strelzik.
Blade Strzelczyk comes up to the plate. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Ends up in the dirt. Strzelczyk grounded to short in the first inning. He walked and was left on at third in the second. Then he walked and was left on at third in the fourth. Blade Strzelczyk with a good opportunity here to bring in some runs and cut into this 2-run lead. A fastball that just moves outside, started in the strike zone, moved outside towards that left-handed batter box, and 2-0 now the count to Strzelczyk. Misses outside again. Messner has to find the strike zone at risk of walking in a run here. The corners are playing in. They want to get that force out at home on any ball put into play in the infield. The 3-0 pitch misses downstairs, and that walks in a run. So Jimenez comes in from third. Huerta advances to third from second. Motzinger gets to second, and that is a free base for Strzelczyk. TLU. He reached on an error and came around to score back in the first. Flew out to center in the second and flew out to left in the fourth. So he's officially 0 for 2 on the day. And now Johnson
coming to the plate for the Bulldogs, second baseman number 14
is all done and ready to go. Austin Colon steps in. Bases loaded. Colon just needs to send a fly ball to tie this game up if he sends it deep enough for the sacrifice. Johnson's first pitch of the game. foul off. Johnson likes his sign, the 0-1. Misses just inside, almost glances off of the elbow pad there of Austin Colon, and he does a good job not flinching. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded in this top of the 5th inning. 6-5 lead for Southwestern. Looking to hold on to it. Here's a chopper that goes up the middle. 1 out as they tag to second, and then a throw over to second in time to record the double play. So a nice job on the defensive play there from Southwestern's second baseman Trent Raschel as he shaded over, got the force out at second, and then got it to Witt in time for the double play. And that keeps the second run of the top of the 6th from scoring. And Southwestern retains the lead 6-5 as we head into the bottom of the 5th. 1 run on, no hit, no errors made by the defense of the Pirates, and the 1 runner left on for TLU as we head into the bottom of the 5th. 6-5, Southwestern with the lead over TLU.
Shortstop number 8, Jacob Tanner, and designated hitter number 9, Ted Lofkowitz.
Leading things off for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 5th inning is the first baseman, Preston Witt. Witt singled and came around to score in the first. He sends this one high in the air, and the center fielder for the Bulldogs. Oh, excuse me. It's a dropped one for the shortstop as he was the one getting underneath. The center fielder was coming in to try and make the catch, and it was dropped by Jimenez. And give credit to Witt for not dogging that one out, thinking it was just a routine pop-up. He went around to second, and he gets a double out of it. Well, it's an error, but he gets the second out of it.
That'll bring to the plate shortstop number 8, Jacob Tanner.
So following the error, Tanner will come up to the plate. Jacob Tanner struck out back in the first, and he grounded to short in the third, and he looks at the first pitch for ball 1. Southwestern with a 1-run lead here, 6-5. Bottom of the 5th inning and nobody out. Here's a grounder hit to Jimenez, and he looks Witt back to second and then makes the throw to first for the first out of the bottom of the 5th. Another 6-3 ground out for Tanner, and that brings up Ted Lobkowitz. Excuse me, Lobkowitz. Lobkowitz walked and was left on at second back in the first. He popped up to short in the third, so he's 0 for 1 on the day. Left-handed batter has an opportunity to advance Preston Witt, who's in scoring position. Fasciano sends the pitch in, and it's fouled off. Lobkowitz steps in, waiting for the pitch from Fasciano. The 0-1 misses outside. A ball and a strike here. Lobkowitz, designated hitter in this second game of the doubleheader. Swings at the 1-1, sends it fair down the third base line. This will bring around Witt from second, and it's rolling into the corner, still not put back in towards the infield of play, and that's an RBI double for Lobkowitz. So now Daniel Montgomery comes up to the plate. Montgomery singled in the first, grounded out to third base in the third. Now is an opportunity to help out the Southwestern rally now following that score from Preston Witt. It's 7-5. Southwestern leads TLU. A strike taken on the first pitch to Montgomery from Fasciano. The 0-1 in the dirt. One ball, one strike here to Daniel Montgomery. Fasciano with a long look in and then a pickoff attempt. Sliding in safely is Lobkowitz. The 1-1. Fouled back. A ball and two strikes to Montgomery. The 1-2. This one lined up the middle, and it'll be ricocheted off of the glove of the second baseman and being waved in to score. Play at the plate, sliding in safe as the ball doesn't get into the catcher's hand. And it's a nice play for the base runner, Preston Witt, Preston Witt already came in to scored. Ted Lobkowitz, and RBI single for Montgomery. Brings up Ryan Baranowski. As Baranowski flew out to center in the first, and then he singled and came around to score in the fourth. Baranowski here has an opportunity to bring Montgomery, who got to second and just brought an RBI. Just got an RBI, and the first pitch to Baranowski is taken for a strike. Baranowski. Looks at the 0-1 inside. The 1-1 pitch. This one hit high in the air. This wouldn't be a home run in an elevator shaft, as looking for it is Philippus, and he makes the catch, and that'll be out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now batting for the Pirates, second baseman number 2, Trent Raschke.
Trent Raschke comes to the plate now. He singled and came around to score in the second, and then he singled and was left on at third in the fourth. Montgomery at second, hoping to be brought around here in this 2-run bottom of the 5th inning, where Southwestern leads at 8-5. First pitch Raschke sees is a ball. The 1-0. Sending to right field, and this will drop in the gap, and coming around to score from second is Montgomery, and a stand-up double for Raschke. And Southwestern brings across their third run of the bottom of the fifth inning, and they have a 9-5 lead.
That'll take us to the top of the order for the Pirates. Center fielder, number 27, Hayden Craig.
Hayden Craig comes to the plate. 2 outs, runner on second. And I think we're going to have a meeting on the mound. We'll take the break here on SHN Sports.
New pitcher for the Bulldogs, number 46, Logan Fisher. Number 46.
Nine to 5 your score. Southwestern leads Texas Lutheran here on SHN Sports. Bottom of the fifth inning. 3 runs already come across the plate for the Pirates. 2 outs, and at second it's Trent Raschke. Back to the top of the order, Hayden Craig here, as he is the first batter that Logan Fisher, the right-handed junior, 6'4", 240 out of Thorndale, Texas, will face. The first pitch misses for a ball. Fisher appearing in his third game. The 1-0 sent into right field, and coming up to make the catch on the run is the right fielder Tyler Colley, and that'll retire the side here as we head into the top of the sixth. The Pirates
in the bottom of the sixth, 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error.
Score 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error made by the defense, and a runner left on by the Pirates. And we head into the top of the sixth inning. Southwestern with a 9-5 lead. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
And designated hitter number 44, Tyler Post. Cole Johnson returns to the mound for the Pirates.
Cole Johnson on the mound for his second inning of work here as we start off the top of the sixth. Southwestern leads TLU 9-5.
Right fielder number 33, Tyler Colley.
Henry Fisher for third. Yeah, replaced Bear in the lineup that went to third.
Fisher for Montgomery.
Yep.
Fisher. What number is Fisher? 23?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's all right. I did the end.
And then Montgomery went to catcher.
Apologies about the gap in play-by-play right there. Just adjusting my lineup card. I think I got it right here. So now playing defense on third is Henry Fisher, and catching is Montgomery as he moves from third behind the plate. Johnson still on the mound here, and he's working against Austin Colon, and Tyler Colley, I beg your pardon. Colley, Singleton came around to score back in the first. Singleton was left on at first in the second, and then he was hit by a pitch and left on at second in the fourth. He and Johnson in a duel right now with nobody on, nobody out in the top of the sixth inning and a 9-5 Pirates lead. He extends his swing and hits it to short, and a nice job getting it across the diamond by Jacob Tanner, and with the squeeze, Preston Witt for the first out.
First baseman number 24, Cole Irby.
Cole Irby comes to the plate now. Irby singled and came around to score back in the first inning. He singled and was out on the base paths in the third, and then he was hit by a pitch and left on at first in the fourth. So he's reached the bases. He's gotten on base, I should say, all three plate appearances. Johnson sends in a fastball that just misses the low inside corner. Fastball finds the heart of the strike zone. Irby's count, 1-1. Johnson out of the stretch despite nobody being on the base pass, and a swing and a miss on the 1-1. Irby behind into the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First time Irby is going up against Johnson. The 1-2. This is outside. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. No base runners for the Bulldogs here as they trail by 4 runs. The run rule was in effect in the first game. Here, the Pirates working with a comfortable 4-run lead. Johnson just misses the strike zone. And it's a full count here to Irby. 3-2 just south of the strike zone, and tossing away his bat, taking his base is Irby with a good eye. He reaches on a walk. Brings up Tyler Post.
Designated hitter number 44, Tyler Post.
Post designated hitter back in the first inning, walked and came around to score. This third on the second plate appearance, he singled and was out on a fielder's choice after getting a stolen base, and now he comes up to the plate. The check swing pulled back, and a strike delivered by Johnson. Johnson has his pitch sent into right field by Post, and Irby advances to second. Post reaches on the single. Joe Ramirez comes up to the plate now.
That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, number 9, Joe Jimenez.
Jimenez steps up. Runners on first and second. One out. And an opportunity for TLU to cut into this 4-run Southwestern lead. That pitch finds the inner half of the strike zone as Johnson wants to get ahead of the count here and try and get out of a little bit of a bind he finds himself in with Jimenez at the plate. Post at first and Irby at second. The 0-1. Just misses inside. A ball and a strike here to Jimenez. Johnson steps off, and heading back to second was Irby. Post tags the bag at first just because. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. A nice movement on that pitch. I think it was perhaps a curveball that had a really strong break, and Jimenez couldn't quite reach it as that one ended up in the dirt, but started well into the strike zone. And it's a 1-2 count here as Jimenez steps back up to the plate. One-two on the way, swing and a miss, and a strikeout recorded by Johnson is the second out of the inning, and an out away from escaping the top of the sixth unscathed is Johnson.
Now up for the Bulldogs, third baseman, number 17, Randy Huerta.
Yeah. Randy Huerta will come up to the plate. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Huerta going up against Johnson out of the stretch. High leg kick, and the pitch ends up in the dirt, gets away from Montgomery, the new catcher, and I think that's a wild pitch that advances the runners. So Irby gets the third. He's 90 feet away. Post gets the second, and Huerta can cut into this 9-5 lead. Johnson trying to get out of this. It's Cole Johnson, the 6'4", 205-pound sophomore from Cedar Park. Gets back on the bump. His focus right now is Huerta, not the runners at second and third. You can see Post taking his lead. The 1-0 just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike now to the seventh hitter in the order, Randy Huerta. He walked and was out on a fielder's choice back in the first. He singled and was left on at first in the third. And he was left on at third after a single in the fifth. 2-1 pitch. Tried to catch that high outside corner, but just shades off of the plate. And Johnson here with a 3-1 count. He's going to want another pitch from Montgomery. That pitch misses low and away, and it's a walk for Huerta. Bases loaded now. Huerta at first, Post at second, Irby at third.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the center fielder, number 7, Colin Motzinger.
Motzinger comes to the plate with the bases loaded. Johnson ready to deliver the first pitch to Motzinger. High leg kick finds. Just doesn't find the strike zone. Looked like a good one to me, but just misses downstairs. Motzinger yet to record a home run this season. Did enter the day with 4 RBIs. Here's the 1-0. And he finds the low outside corner this time. The count even up at a ball and a strike. Motzinger reached on a fielder's choice and was left on at first back in the first. Flew out to center in the third and was hit by a pitch and left on at second in the fifth. One pitch. Swung on. This one grounded right back to Johnson, and he'll make the easy underhand toss to Witt, and they get out of the situation with no runs coming across. No runs scored off, 1 hit, no errors made by the defense of the Pirates, and the bases left loaded for the Bulldogs. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 9-5. Southwestern with a 4-run lead over TLU.
Coming to the plate in the bottom of the 6th, rather. Left fielder number 56, Lance Crucy. Right fielder number 52, Maxwell Mims. And first baseman number 19, Preston Witt. Coming to the plate for the Pirates, number 56, left fielder Lance Crucy.
9-5 lead here for Southwestern as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. Southwestern will have Lance Crucy, Maxwell Mims, and Preston Witt due up here. And the first pitch sent in is called for a strike, and finding the strike zone is Logan Fisher, the 6'4", 240-pound junior from Thorndale, coming in for his second inning of work. Misses the strike zone this time, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Lance Crucy flew out to center in the first inning as he looks at the 1-1 miss downstairs for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 balls and 1 strike. Crucy sacrificed and brought in a run in the second as Craig came in to score. And he sends that one deep to left field, and coming over to make the catch, and left field is Strzelczyk. One away.
That'll bring to the plate the right fielder, number 52, Maxwell Mims.
And Maxwell Mims comes to the plate. Mims singled and came around to score. Brought in a run on that single in the first. He grounded out to short in the second and in the fourth. Comes up to the plate now and takes the first pitch for a strike. Logan Fisher out of the windup. A line drive that deflects off Fisher's glove and makes its way to second, and just in time, good play there from Cologne to get it to first, and Irby makes the squeeze right as the foot of Mims misses the bag, or a fraction before the foot of Mims hits the bag, I should say.
Now batting for the Pirates, the first baseman, number 19, Preston Witt.
Preston Witt comes up to the plate now. Witt singled and came around to score in the first, popped up to the catcher in the second, and he takes the first pitch for a ball. And Witt also reached in on an error and came around to score in the fifth. The 1-0 misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Pirates haven't got anybody on the base path so far here with 2, 3, 4 hitters due up, and we're on that fourth hitter, the cleanup hitter, Preston Witt, the 2-0 outside, and Fisher having a little trouble finding the strike zone here against Preston Witt. Fisher wasting no time, the 3-0. Gets the lower half of the zone for the first strike for Witt's at-bat. The 3-1 swung on, fouled off, and it will slowly make its way out of play. And now the count is full here to Preston Witt. Waiting on deck, Jacob Tanner hoping to get his opportunity. Southwestern leads at 9-5. 2 outs here in the bottom of the sixth. And a full count to the first baseman for the Pirates. Witt steps back in. Fisher ready to go out of the windup. The payoff pitch. Check swing pulled back, and tossing away his bat is Witt. He'll take his free base. So Jacob Tanner does get his opportunity to come to the plate.
That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, number 8, Jacob Tanner.
Tanner struck out swinging in the first, and he grounded out to short in the third and in the fifth. Comes to the plate now with a runner on and 2 outs. Witt takes his lead away from the first base bag as the first pitch just misses downstairs to Tanner. The 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes now, and Jacob Tanner with a good eye ahead of the count. Fisher back on the bump. Takes a big sigh as he checks the runner. Out of the stretch. The 2-0 pitch. Right in the middle of the strike zone, and the first strike recorded to Jacob Tanner. Two-one pitch on the way, and this one finds the same spot, and 2 balls, 2 strikes, Jacob Tanner. The 2-2, high and inside. Good job by Tanner not to flinch on that one, as having to get out of his catcher's squat for that pitch was Philippus. And the count is full here to Tanner. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss. That's a strikeout, so no runs off, no hits, no errors made by the defense of the Bulldogs, and and a runner left on for the Pirates as we head into the top of the 7th. 9-5, Southwestern leads Texas Lutheran.
Pirates 9, Bulldogs 6. Pardon me, 5. Don't get old. You can't see. Do it for the Bulldogs in the 7th inning. Catcher number 16, Holden Philippus. Left fielder number 5, Blade Strelzik. And second baseman number 14, Austin Cologne. Now batting for the Bulldogs, the catcher number 16, Holden Phillips.
9 1 and 2 hitters due up here for the TLU Bulldogs. Holden Philippus coming to the plate now. Cole Johnson still on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. 9-5 lead for the Pirates here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch misses downstairs for a ball to Philippus. He popped up to the 3rd baseman in the 1st. He flew out to left in the 4th, and he struck out swinging in the 5th. Johnson recording that strikeout, and this is the 2nd time these two have gone up against each other as a strike is taken there by Philippus. The 1-1. Well, I thought that went into the strike zone, but it goes off of the glove of Montgomery and ends up hitting the backstop, and it'll be called a ball, so I guess that must have just gone inside. And it's a 2-1 count here to Philippus. Out of the stretch, the 2-2 from Cole Johnson ends up in the dirt, and this one bounces towards the SU dugout. 3 balls, 1 strike. Johnson working out of the stretch despite nobody on and nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Johnson with the 3-1. Misses upstairs, and that'll be a walk to lead things off for Philippus. So he finally gets on the base paths. 4th time was the charm for him.
Top of the order for the Bulldogs. Left fielder number 5, Blade Strelzik.
Blade Strelzik grounded out to short in the 1st, walked and was left on at 3rd in the 2nd, walked and left on at 3rd in the 4th, and he walked and was left on at 1st in the 5th. So he is a very patient batter. 3 walks on the ball game. Cole Johnson with a runner on 1st, nobody out, has to deal with the top of the order now. And the pitch gets away from Montgomery. Montgomery will fire it down to 2nd, and that throw will not be anywhere close to get out Philippus, who had the heads up to get to 2nd. So that's good base running on his part for the first time he's reached the base path in this ball game. Still a 9-5 lead for Southwestern, but now getting into scoring position is Philippus, and that pitch is a ball as Strzelczyk ahead of the count early. Johnson with a long stare into his catcher. Finds the pitch he likes. checks the runner and will deliver the 1-0. Tight strike zone. That one just above the elbows, and 2 balls, no strikes here to Strzelczyk. Two-0 misses inside, and Strzelczyk might get his 4th walk of the ball game. Makes me wonder if I've been keeping score correctly. The 3-0 inside, and it will be his 4th walk. He gets the first. Philippus, who stole second, stays at second. Austin Colon comes up to the plate now. After this meeting on the mound, we'll see if Cole Johnson will remain the pitcher here with nobody out and 2 on. At the top of the 7th, Southwestern leads it 9-5. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
Now batting the second baseman, number 14, Austin Colon.
So Johnson will stay on the bump with runners at first and second. Nobody out. Austin Colon, the second hitter in the order, coming to the plate. Colon reached on an error in the first, and then he flew out to the outfield for the next 3 at-bats. He sends this one on a bunt back to Johnson, and then Johnson's throw gets away from Witt, and a run will come across from Philippus as he scores from second, and Strzelczyk gets over to third, and the error will have Colon at first. After all that, the Bulldogs cut into the Southwestern lead by 1. It's now 9-6. Top of the 7th, nobody out. Runners on the corners.
Number 33, Tyler Cawley.
Tyler Cawley comes up to the plate. He singled and came around to score in the first. Singled and left on in the first, left on at first in the second. Hit by a pitch and left on at second in the 4th, and grounded out to short in the 5th inning, or excuse me, the 6th inning. Here he comes back in the 7th and takes the first pitch for a ball. Set at the belt is Johnson, and he'll make a quick throw over to first. Witt doesn't even bother to apply the tag as Colon dove in head first, safe. Johnson sends in the 1-0. This one gets away from Montgomery again as the pitch missed downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out. Going at first. Philippus came around to score, and Strzelczyk is at third. The 1 run scored off of no hits so far in this top of the 7th. Johnson likes his pitch now as he sends it into the middle of the strike zone for the first strike in this at-bat versus Tyler Cawley. Two-one pitch. Fouled off, and count all level. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Johnson could use a strikeout right now. Dancing over at third is Strzelczyk, and that'll force Johnson to step off the rubber, and he'll get right back on. Cowley adjusts himself in the right-handed batter box, doesn't exit it. Staggered stance here. Johnson sends into 2-2, misses upstairs. Full count now. The payoff pitch, a check swing that glances off of the bat, a called strike 3, and then a throw down the first, and safe is Cologne at first. So a strikeout recorded by Johnson as he got out Cowley, and that's a nice help there as it brings up Cole Irby, and Irby an opportunity here with runners on the corners to cut into Southwestern's 9-6 lead. So I said Johnson could use a strikeout. He could really use a double play. A pitcher's best friend. Hitter's worst nightmare, I take it. Irby singled and came around to score in the first. Johnson likes his sign, working out of the stretch. Set at the belt, sends in the pitch. This one lined into center field. That'll be a base hit that brings in Strzelczyk and advances Cologne to second, and the base hit RBI gets Irby at first and makes the Southwestern lead 2, 9-7, top of the seventh.
Designated hitter number 44, Tyler Post.
DH Tyler Post will come up to the plate. Runners at first and second, and Post watches the first pitch miss for a ball. The 1-0, oh no, it won't be a 1-0 as a move from home to second will send Cologne back to second base. Irby tags first and will now take his lead away. The 1-0 in the dirt, and Montgomery does a good job to keep it in front of him. Two-0 pitch. Misses low and outside. 3 balls, no strikes, and Cole Johnson has to throw a strike here to avoid walking the bases loaded. 3-0 hits the lower half of the zone, though, and Post basically keeping the bat on his shoulder, making Johnson throw a strike. The 3-1 fouled off, and the count is full. Johnson sends in the payoff pitch, misses outside, and Post will take a walk. Irby advances to second. Cologne advances to third. So Cologne, who reached off of the error, gets to third. Irby, who hit the RBI single that brought in the 1 run of Strzelczyk. Or excuse me, brought in Philippus. He advances to third, and that means Post stays there at first. And now Joe Jimenez comes up to the plate. He reached on an error and was left on a third in the first inning. He singled, was left on a third in the third inning. And he swings at the first pitch he sees, sends it to deep left field, catching it on the run. And the sacrifice works here, as is going to be Cruzy, who throws it in. And the first out is a sacrifice. So the sac RBI brings up Randy Huerta. And Colon comes in to score. Irby did not tag up. He decided to stay at second and post at first. And Randy Huerta comes up to the plate now. Huerta walked and was out on a fielder's choice in the first. First pitch misses for a ball. Huerta reached on a single and was left on at first in the third. And then he was left on a third following a single in the fifth. And he walked and was left on at first in the sixth inning. Jack swing pulled back as the pitch gets past Montgomery from Johnson. And now the runners will advance. So Post to second and Irby to third. And Johnson may be showing some signs of fatigue as 3 runs have come across the plate here for the Bulldogs in the top of the 7th. And the Southwestern lead only down to 1, 9-8. That pitch fouled off. 2-1 now the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Johnson likes his pitch. 2-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. You can get out of the inning with another strike here against Huerta. The 2-2. Check swing pulled back. The pitch misses inside, and we have a full count here to Huerta. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The second strikeout of the inning for Cole Johnson, and he gets out of it while retaining the lead for the Pirates. But 3 runs do come across on no hits. 2 errors made by the defense of the Pirates and 2 runners left on for the Bulldogs. We head into the bottom of the 7th. Southwestern leads 9-8. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
1 error, bringing our score to Pirates 9, Bulldogs 8, through 7.5. In the bottom of the 7th, for the Pirates, designated hitter number 9, Ted Lofkowitz. Catcher, number 10, Dan Montgomery. And at third base, number 23, Henry Fisher.
You're right.
Logan Fisher comes back onto the mound for his 4th inning of work here in the bottom of the 7th. Southwestern with a 9-8 lead here over TLU after the first game. Only made it this far. The man at the plate here, Ted Lapkowitz, designated hitter, has a 1-1 count. And Logan Fisher sends this pitch into the lower half of the strike zone for strike 2. Lapkowitz walked and was left on at second in the first, popped up to short in the third, and brought in a run with a double and came around to score himself in the 5th. Saw that pitch miss for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the designated hitter for the Pirates. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That pitch hits Lapkowitz, and he'll take his base.
Now coming to the plate, the catcher, number 10, Dan Montgomery.
Dan Montgomery comes up to the plate. On the day, he is 2 for 3. On the game, I should say. He singled and was left on at first in the first. He grounded out to third to end the third, and he brought in a run on a single and came around to score himself in the 5th. He shows bunt here, a little bit of small ball to try and bring in an insurance run for Southwestern as he pulls the bunt back. The pitch misses inside. Ball 1. Diving in safely at first on the pickoff attempt is Lapkowitz. The 1-0. Fouled back on the high fastball that Montgomery chased from Fisher. One pitch. Hits the lower half of the zone, and it's called strike 2. Montgomery swings at this one, sends it into the right field. It's shallow, and I think this might drop. It'll drop fair territory, and that'll be a base hit for Montgomery. Lapkowitz gets to second, and Pirates with a bloop single there from Montgomery.
Now batting for the Pirates, the third baseman, number 23, Henry Fisher.
Henry Fisher gets his first plate appearance after taking over at third base, coming in for Ryan Bararowski. Logan Fisher on the bump here with nobody out and runners on first and second. Southwestern with a 1-run lead. A pickoff attempt at second, diving in safely is Ted Lapkowitz. It's either Lapkowitz or Lapkowitz, as it's a W, but sometimes that kind of German name, the W is pronounced as a V, so apologies for just kind of my very small background in speaking German takes over here. A bunt shown and not going to connect as Fisher tried to lay it down the third baseline to try and advance the runners on a sacrifice. I did pass German, barely. Logan Fisher. Send it in. Swing and a miss, and a double steal was on, and then the errant throw will allow a run to come around from second as Lapkowitz will come across the plate, and then Montgomery makes it to third, so an error on the play will help the Southwestern cause as one run comes across, and the runner Montgomery gets to third. And now Fisher continues his at-bat. And strike 3 is called there, and it's all right for Fisher, though, as a run did score, and Southwestern has a 2-run lead, 10-8. Trent Raschke comes to the plate now. The infield playing up here to try and get the play at the plate here, as Raschke will not probably try a squeeze now, and the first pitch is a fastball that finds the bottom half of the strike zone. Montgomery at third, 90 feet away. Raschke watches the 0-1 miss upstairs, but a balk is called. And that'll bring in a run, and Raschke knew it right away. And Montgomery comes in from third for the score. 11-8 now. Southwestern bringing across 2, and it's all because of mistakes from TLU. And now a grounder that's hit right back to Fisher. He'll underhand toss it for an out, and that is an easy play for Fisher to get it to his first baseman, Irby.
Center fielder, number 27, Hayden Craig.
So the 1-3 put out by Raschke is the second out, and we're back to the top of the order, Hayden Craig. Craig's had himself a busy day, his 5th plate appearance here in this ball game. And the first pitch taken for a strike. Craig singled and was brought around to score in the first inning. Came around to score off of the single in the second. Sacrifice fly in the fourth and flew out to right in the fifth. And he looks at strike 2, passed by him from Logan Fisher. 11-8, Southwestern looking to split the doubleheader today. Fouls off the pitch. So when the sun was up, Hayden Craig did pretty well, but now that the sun has set, he has yet to reach the base, although the sacrifice did help Ryan Bararowski score, and then he grounds it to Irby, and Irby will tag first unassisted, and that'll be the end of the bottom of the 7th. So we head into the top of the 8th. Southwestern with an 11-8 lead in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs scored off of 1 hit. 2 errors made by the defense of the TLU Bulldogs, and a runner left on for the Southwestern Pirates. We head to the top of the 8th, 11-8. Southwestern with the 3-run lead.
Coming to the plate for the Bulldogs, the center fielder, number 7, Colin Mutzinger.
Top of the 8th inning, Texas Lutheran trying to come back against Southwestern. 11-8 your score. The Pirates brought across 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to take this lead, as it is Cole Johnson back on the mound here, and he delivers a strike to Colin Motzinger, the only TLU batter who did not come to the plate in the 7th inning. The 0-1. Pitch finds the lower half of the strike zone. I kind of thought it was a little low, but it's called a strike. That strike zone expanding a little bit. And I really probably should look here at the broadcast angle. The kind of center field camera might give me a better eye of whether or not that was around the knees. Here's the 0-2. Check swing, pulled back on an appeal down the first base line. He did swing, and Motzinger is retired on the swinging strikeout. Brings up Holden Philippus. Catcher and the 9th hitter in the order.
Bulldogs, the catcher, number 16, Holden Philippus.
Philippus popped up to third in the 1st inning. He flew out to left in the 4th. He struck out swinging in the 5th, and he walked and came around to score after stealing a base in the 7th. And
correction, we have a pinch hitter, number 6. We're getting his name.
My computer wouldn't freeze. I could tell you his name. I have the roster pulled up on the website here as Alex Kornman, who was the leadoff hitter in the 1st game, now comes up to the plate. Check swing, pulled back just in time, and appeal down the baseline. And first base umpire says that it was a swing, back-to-back appeals.
Number 6, Alex Kornman.
So Kornman batting for Philippus. A high leg kick from Cole Johnson, and Kornman pops this one up, and the shortstop making the squeeze for Southwestern, Jacob Tanner, records out number 2.
That returns to the top of the order for the Bulldogs. Left fielder, number 5, Blade Strelzik.
Back to the top, Blade Strzelczyk, who is 0 for 1 on the day, but has reached the base paths on 4 walks. Came around to score back in the 7th and was left on the base paths the other 3 times. And in the 1st, he grounded out to short. He watches the first pitch miss low and away for ball 1. One-0 pitch. This is upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes now to Strzelczyk. Austin Colon waiting on deck. Cole Johnson got a good rest during that 2-run bottom of the 7th inning. He looks a little refreshed here as he sends the 2-0. Catches the inner half at the strike zone. Two-one pitch. That one bounces past Montgomery. Nobody on, so no harm done. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Pirates would love to make it a 1-2-3 inning and then have to just deal with the 2-3-4 hitters in the top of the 9th. Maybe even add on an insurance run or 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Cole Johnson set at the belt. Out of the stretch, sends the 3-1. That one just misses low and away, and tossing away as bad as Strzelczyk. He takes the walk. I kid you not, his 5th walk of the ball game. Wow.
That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, number 14, Austin Colon.
What a patient batter Strzelczyk must be to get to first. And now Austin Colon comes to the plate, get to first on 5 consecutive walks. Like I don't think I've ever seen that. That might be some kind of record. First pitch to Colon, misses inside, ball 1. I do not have the amount of free time to find somebody in the NCAA to tell me the record for consecutive walks, so I'm just saying that it could be some kind of record. If you have the free time to do it, please let me know. The 1-0. Fastball that finds the lower half of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Austin Colon. Cologne came around to score after reaching on an error in the first. He flew out to center in the second. He flew out to left in the fourth. And he flew out to right in the fifth. Came around to score following and reaching on an error in the seventh. And he looks at ball 2. Pass by him. Likes his pitch, the 2-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. And counts 2-2 to Cologne. He'll step back into the left-handed batter box going against the righty, Cole Johnson. On first, Terzelzik. Two-two pitch just goes off his elbow, and I believe that'll be an out. So I guess he leaned into it, and the home plate umpire says that he was over the home plate. So batter interference there, and Cologne is out. And that is how the top of the 8th comes to a close. No runs scored off, no hits, no errors made by the defense, and a runner left on in the form of Terzelzik at first. We head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Southwestern with the 11-8 lead. We'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports.
Right fielder number 52, Maxwell Mims, and first baseman number 19, Preston Witt.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no, it's good, yeah.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Pirates looking to add on an insurance run or two here before the chance to win it in the top of the 9th. Southwestern with 11-8 lead here, as it'll be Lance Crucy, Maxwell Mims, and Preston Witt due up here for Southwestern. Crucy flew out to center in the first inning, sacrifice that brought in a run in the second, an RBI single in the fourth, and flew out to left in the 6th, and now he will face Logan Fisher. That pitch misses outside, ball 1. And the 1-0 misses low and away. Fisher looking to find his rhythm back after the TLU for batter top of the 8th. 2-0's a swing and a miss, and chasing after a pitch that kind of curved on a curveball there. Lance Crucy still ahead of the count. Two one. High and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. The 3-1. This one rolls to second, and a nice athletic play made by Cologne to get it to Cole Irby for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. Maxwell Mims coming to the plate.
Right fielder number 52, Maxwell Mims.
Mims, the right fielder, a single in the first that brought in a run. He also came around to score in that inning. And then in the second, he grounded out to short. Grounded out in the short at the 4th as well. And then he grounded to second in the 6th. So he watches the first pitch miss for a ball. hoping to break his streak and get back on the base pass as the 1-0 misses downstairs as well. 2-0 the count here to Mims. Two-1 is a fastball that is the middle lower zone, and we strike one here to Mims. 2-1 pitch, swung on and grounded foul on the third base side. Fisher sends into 2-1 and misses low and away. 3 balls, 1 strike here to Mims. 3-2, I beg your pardon. Payoff pitch here. Fisher to Mims. Swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. And Preston Witt will come up to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on.
Now batting for the Pirates, the right fielder, the first baseman, number 19, Preston Witt.
Witt singled and came around to score in the first. He popped up to the catcher in the second. He reached on an error and came around to score in the fifth, and he walked and was left on at first in the 6th inning here as comes up to the plate and misses the first pitch downstairs. Ball 1. As Logan Fisher on both at-bats so far here in the 8th inning, starting off with a 2-0, and now a swing and a miss there as the count even up at a ball and a strike for Witt. Out of the windup, Fisher likes his sign and delivers. The 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 8th inning, Pirates with this 3-run lead, 11-8. Hoping that they only need to record 3 more outs and don't have to come back to the plate. The 2-1 misses outside. And the 3-1 swing and a miss, and the count is full now here to Witt. Three-two pitch. Misses out. Oh, it doesn't miss outside. Witt tossed away his bat, and home plate umpire decided that he makes the call on whether or not that was a walk, and that'll be a backwards K to Witt, and that ends the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on. We head to the top of the 9th. It's a 11-8 lead. Southwestern looking to pick up the win and split the doubleheader here on SHN Sports.
Coming to bat in the top of the 9th for the Bulldogs, right fielder number 33, Tyler Colley. First baseman number 24, Cole Irby. And designated hitter number 44, Tyler Post.
Cole Johnson looked like he was showing some signs of fatigue in the 7th inning, but comes back and has really shown that he can be a long inning option here for Southwestern as we enter the top of the 9th inning. Southwestern with an 11-8 lead, and Tyler Colley will come up to the plate.
Tyler Colley.
Colley singled and came around to score in the first. He singled and was left on at first in the second. He was hit by a pitch and was left on at second in the fourth inning. Grounded out to short in the sixth and went down swinging in the seventh. Johnson sends in the pitch and misses downstairs. Good fastball, though, still showing some zip. This one bounces over the head of Johnson, but gets the second and will be an easy play for the Pirates. And nice one by Raschke to get it to Witt in time for out number one. So 4-3 goes Cowley.
Now batting first baseman, number 24, Cole Irby.
Cole Irby comes to the plate now. Irby came around to score after a single in the first, and he was left on at third in the third after a single. He was hit by a pitch and left on at first in the fourth. Walked in the sixth, came and was left on at third, and he looks at a strike on the first pitch here from Johnson. And then he singled, brought in a run, was left on at third in the seventh. So he has reached the base paths on all 5 of his previous plate appearances. Johnson out of the stretch despite nobody on, sends the pitch low. 1 ball, 1 strike now here for Cole Irby. One. Sent in the right field, and it's staying on the line and stays fair. And then tripping up in right field is Mims. And I think that might have been a double either way, but Irby gets a 1-out double standing up. Brings up Tyler Post, the designated hitter.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the designated hitter, number 44, Tyler Post.
1 out and 1 on. Tyler Post comes up to the plate. He walked and came around to score in the first. He singled and was out on a fielder's choice in the third. Flew out to right in the fourth. Singled and was left on at second in the sixth. And walked and was left on at second in the seventh. And Johnson delivers a pitch that misses downstairs for ball 1. One-0. Hit high in the air. This pop-up will be a fly ball, actually. That's caught by the center fielder for the Pirates. That's Hayden Craig. And staying at second is Cole Irby. And down to their final out are the TLU Bulldogs.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, the shortstop, number 9, Joe Jimenez.
Joe Jimenez comes up to the plate. Jimenez reached on an error in the first and was left on at third. Singled and was left on at third in the third. He reached on an error and came around to score in the fifth. Struck out swinging in the sixth and sacrificed bringing in a run in the seventh. Can't sacrifice in this situation. 2 outs and a runner on second. His team trailing by 3, 11-8. Southwestern looking to pick up the win. Fastball swung on, sent into center field, and it will be Craig who makes the final squeeze, and Southwestern wins their first game of the season in the second game of the doubleheader here against Texas Lutheran. The first game had a run rule come into effect. I heard the Southwestern Pirates say that, hey, it's a different game, it's a new game, and Southwestern wins 11-8. And it didn't look like it was going to be a good game when the Bulldogs started off 4 runs in the first, but the Pirates answered back with 3 runs in the bottom of the first, and then they took the lead that would never be relinquished in the bottom of the second, and the Pirates proceeded to score 1 run in the bottom of the fourth. The Bulldogs answered back with a run of their own in the top of the fifth. 3 runs scored in the bottom of the fifth by the Pirates. And then 3 runs scored in the top of the 7th by the Bulldogs. 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 7th by the Pirates to answer back. And that would give you our final score, 11-8. Southwestern with a win over Texas Lutheran. They improved to 1-7 overall. The Bulldogs fall to 4-2 overall, and the doubleheader split here between Southwestern and Texas Lutheran. I'm Carl Stoning. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate everybody who's helped out with SHN Sports this evening. Happy that you guys watched this doubleheader with us. We'll see y'all next time.